Hello. The information presented in this webinar is for educational purposes only and is intended to provide general guidance on the topic. While we strive to provide accurate and up-to-date information, the content may not be applicable to your specific circumstances. Please use the guidelines for this participation on the chat. Maintain a positive and respectful tone. Keep your username and chat comments family-friendly, and guard your personal information. The chat will be available publicly. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Parent University. I am Stephanie Heilig, Administrator in the Equity, Engagement, and Partnerships Office. I know there's a lot going on this evening, and I'd like to welcome you to our Parent University webinar, which is entitled Academic Support and Resources. So again, thank you for taking the time to be here. I love to know who's joining us on the chat. So if you wouldn't mind taking a few minutes, you could type your name into the chat, which would be fantastic. And if you can let us know what school you're representing or schools, if it's more than one, that would be great. We always like to give a shout out to those schools and let all the folks know that you are watching. While I'm waiting for everybody to type things into the chat, I want to point out two resources to you that might be of interest. They are linked below, and there is something called an OCIPD contact list. I'll explain what that is. That gives you some really important information to some important folks that will be joining us. And there's also a feedback form for Parent University, so you can let myself and my team know how we're doing so that we can design these webinars specifically for you. I must say before we begin, that's how all these webinars started. It was feedback from our parents in our community, letting them know that we'd like some information on these topics, and we kind of want it in a user-friendly form. So it's an honor for me to be here to help you really engage with some of the information from our district as part of our Visioning 2035 work. So again, thank you for joining us. What we're going to do is we're going to start off with a short video. You might want to take a paper and a pen. I don't want you to take copious notes. You don't have to worry about cramping your hand and writing every single thing down. This webinar will be available in all three languages, Spanish and Khmer and English, possibly tomorrow, if not by the end of the week, on our Parent University website for future use. So if you're watching it and you have a friend or a family member or a colleague that you think could benefit from the webinar, certainly by all means, you're most welcome to show it to them. So what we're going to do is we're going to watch a short video prepared for us by the Office of Curriculum Instruction and Professional Development. They are the experts in this topic, and then we'll come back and we'll be going live on our website. So let's take it away. Let's show our video.
In Long Beach Unified School District, there are several academic supports and resources available to students in elementary, middle, and high school in support of students accessing Tier 1 instruction. All elementary teachers have access to several resources to support literacy and math instruction. iReady Personalized Instruction provides elementary students with online lessons driven by insights from the iReady diagnostic to meet each student where they are. The online lesson that students can access through the iReady app in Clever provided automated, differentiated instruction to motivate students on their path toward proficiency and growth. It also allows teachers to target specific skills when students are struggling or need enrichment and challenge. For students in dual immersion, teachers may assign iReady lessons in Spanish to support Spanish reading instruction. The expectation is that students are completing their iReady personalized instruction reading lesson for 30 to 49 minutes per week, and that they are passing a minimum of 70% of lessons. In the right-hand column of this slide, there are some suggestions here to support your student with their iReady usage, but you're encouraged to go to the iReady Family Center. The link is at the bottom of this slide for resources to help families understand iReady and support their children. ST Math is a program available to all students in kindergarten through grade 5. The program addresses important foundational math skills by introducing students to concepts visually and then connects the ideas to the symbols, language, and robust discourse. Each student has their own personalized journey and takes as long as they need to achieve mastery. This ensures that students are building and demonstrating a strong conceptual foundation. Students help Gigi overcome obstacles by solving math puzzles, and they associate Gigi with the thrill of challenge and success. Gigi crosses the screen every time a student successfully completes a puzzle, leading them to the next challenge. Gigi is curious, persistent, patient, and friendly. After completing the ST Math journey each year, students will be more equipped to tackle unfamiliar math problems, recognize patterns, and build conceptual understanding. Without language barriers, the problem is accessible to all students, regardless of skill, level, or language background. Elementary schools have several literacy intervention programs to support specific student need. WonderWorks is used at many schools and directly supports Tier 1 instruction aligned to our district curriculum. WonderWorks offers support with both comprehension and phonics. In addition, some schools utilize the Leveled Literacy Intervention Program to support students with comprehension. All sites have an interventionist or RSP teacher trained in the delivery of the Sunday system, which utilizes multisensory instruction grounded in the science of reading. An additional 17 sites have a reading interventionist trained to provide the Sunday system intervention to older students who require supports with decoding. Let's discuss secondary supports grades 6 through 12. iReady is also used in intervention courses at the middle school level in both English Language Arts and Math. In English Language Arts, iReady is used within the College and Career Readiness course, or CCR, as well as the CCR English Language Development course. These intervention courses are taught through rotating stations where 2 of the 3 stations utilize iReady personalized instruction. One station is teacher-led and utilizes the iReady grade level planning report to identify appropriate lessons. These lessons are differentiated and based on students' iReady scores and/or their specific English language development support needed. Another station utilizes iReady personalized learning, where students are working independently through lessons that are selected to match their individual needs and literacy. In math, iReady personalized learning is used in math development courses in grades 6 through middle school algebra. Students spend 15 to 20 minutes up to 2 days a week working independently through lessons that are selected to match their individual needs in math. Students will spend a few minutes each week to set and track goals regarding their iReady personalized instruction progress. Tutor.com is an online tutoring service that is available to students for math supports in grades 6 through Algebra 2. Students can access the platform through their LBUSD portal 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. The tutors are highly trained in a Socratic method of asking questions and guiding students through understanding math concepts, not just giving answers. The platform allows students to interact with the tutor through a 2-way whiteboard and chat. Audio is also an option, but up to the student to choose. Students can log in as often as they want and for whatever amount of minutes they need support for. They can also select their favorite tutors that they work well with. There are several resources available to support our English learners in grades K through 12. Summit K-12 is a supplemental online program that supports the language acquisition of English learners. In LBUSD, the program provides supplemental personalized learning for students in grades 3rd through 12th who are at risk of becoming long-term English language learners or are already long-term English language learners. Students who have been English learners for 4 to 5 years or more are considered long-term English learners. Elementary students have access to the program in various settings. Middle and high school students use the program in CCR ELD and Advanced ELD courses. Lexia English Language Development is a supplemental computer-based program for newcomer students and students with novice-level oral and written English skills. The program supports students' English language development through conversations with the program's many AI characters. Newcomers are foreign-born English learners with less than 18 months of education as determined by the first U.S. school date, K-12. The Multilingual Service Office provides licenses to teachers with newcomer students in grades 1st through 8 and students with minimally developed oral, listening and speaking, and written, reading and writing, English skills as measured by the English Language Proficiency Assessment for California, also known as the LPAC state assessment. Newcomers are foreign-born English learners with less than 18 months of education as determined by the first U.S. school date, K-12. The Multilingual Service Office provides access to the Rosetta Stone platform to newcomer students in the secondary level in grades 6 through 12. Exceptions are made for 4th and 5th grade students who are independent learners. Newcomers are foreign-born English learners with less than 18 months of education as determined by the first U.S. school date, K through 12. Schools can request licenses for students to access the Rosetta Stone program. and students use the program from home to practice English words and grammar and increase their English proficiency. For more information on any of these programs or resources, please visit Curriculum, Instruction, and Professional Development on the district website.
All right, everyone, welcome back. That was quite a bit of information. Even I'm learning things as we do the webinars. So again, I'd love to thank Chris Sitzen and his team for putting together our video and for our Office of Curriculum Instruction and Professional Development for preparing those slides for us. There was a lot of information there, and I know you're going to want to go back and revisit it. Before we do, just a few reminders. We've had some folks join us, and again, thank you for joining us. What we're going to do now is transition into our chat feature. This evening, it will work slightly different. Normally, I bring an expert in the room and I pose questions to the expert. We are very blessed this evening to have 3 experts with us, but they are with us virtually. So I'd like to introduce them. What we will be able to do with our volunteers is actually ask them questions live in the chat. So before we get to that, I want you to prepare your questions. I do want to show you the website for our OCIPD office, or the Office of Curriculum Instruction and Professional Development. While I am showing you that website, if you have specific questions that are connected to iReady or ST Math or literacy interventions or secondary math or English learner supports, you are welcome to put those into the chat. They may get answered directly through our chat feature instead of being answered online. So that'll be a little bit unique with our webinar this evening. We are joined by 3 of our volunteers from our OCIPD office. I am pleased and I have the privilege of them joining. We have Miss Courtney Hull, who is in charge of our TK through 12 interventions. So if you have a general question, she hopefully will be able to answer it for you or get you the help that you need. A really great way that you can get her direct attention in the chat is to put the @ sign. And if you say @Courtney, I think she'll kind of be looking through for those. She can answer your questions directly. We are also blessed to be joined by Wendy Englert. She works in our secondary math office, so she can hopefully address many of your math questions that you have. So if you want to put the @Wendy, you can ask her directly a question. And we are also joined by Miss Alma Black. She is also from OCIPD, and she oversees our English learner supports. So it's Courtney, who's doing TK through 12. It is Wendy, who's on math, and Alma, who is doing English learners. I will show you their contacts as well. So if you want to get the chat going, you can ask them a question directly. They'll be able to answer your question in the chat. We're going to try something new and fancy with our webinar. But before we get to that, I did want to show you some of the links that we have in our chat. First, let me take you to this contact list that I will share with you. So I clicked on the link on the bottom, and if folks in the booth can get us over live, and I can show folks where we are headed with this document here. So if you go to this top link here, which is our OCIPD website, it's going to take you straight to the website where all of these wonderful folks are. First, they've given you these links here to websites, so you can get directly to their website. So let's say, for example, you have a question around elementary math. Michelle Torres, good friend of mine, love her. She wasn't able to join us today, but if you click on this website link, you'll get straight to the website where you can get information about elementary math. If you have a question about our English learner services, if you click on that bottom link, you'll be taken directly there. But I did want to show you the website so that you can contact some, or you get some information. So this top link here will take you to our website. And it looks like this. So again, you're going to what we call our OCIPD office. So here are our administrators that oversee curriculum. And here are some folks in the board building. And as you scroll down, you'll get some information. This is our curricular staff. I find actually the links over here under areas and services very valuable. So again, if you didn't remember everybody's name, for those of you in curricular areas where you want some information, this gets you straight to those curricular areas where you can get some direct information on curriculum. So I did want to show you that website just so you can see what it looks like, so you can get straight to those areas. Let's go over to our services on our website again. And here we go here. So again, we're going specific. Let's see, you want something on some GATE resources. Those are here. Some elementary literacy interventions. So this will again get you to those pages that you need to get to. The website it's really full of information, and some folks are still not quite sure how to navigate it, but that website can really be a valuable resource. So let's click back over to the YouTube. Wonderful. So I'm going through the chat, and I see there's lots of folks here. So the only way I'm going to know if you have a question is for you to put it in the chat. Otherwise, our folks are standing by. There's about 60 or so of you on here, and this is great. Now, I should say this. In our chat, I'd love for questions that are for the good of the group. So if you have some questions that you think should be answered on a webinar where it could really benefit a lot of folks who are watching now or who are watching later, those are really great questions to put into the chat. If it's something specific for your child about an issue or a problem, or you're interested in tutoring, or you need some information, I would encourage you to go to that link that's on the YouTube channel. And if you'll click on that link, you can get directly to the person who can kind of point you in the right direction. I should say also, if you're on our webinar this evening and you are here because you're trying to get your child some support, really the first place to go to get information is talk to your child's counselor and be persistent. Sometimes counselors are busy or they get sick or ill just like the rest of us, but definitely be persistent in talking with your counselor to get the information that's needed. So let me go down here. Okay, I'm going through the chat just to see what we've got. It looks like a few people are contacting our folks directly, and that's great. So you can certainly send an email to those folks. But I'm looking through our chat, waiting to foster some information and really pass that along to all of you. Let's see here, going through the chat. I can tell you, thank you for joining us. I'll go through what I see in the chat, which is we've got folks from high school. So I see Jordan. I believe it was Wilson. I think was it Polly? I'm not sure. A lot of middle school folks, which is great. I do see Stanford. I see Hoover. I see Jefferson Middle School, which is great. Okay. All right. Thanks, Courtney. I can see that Courtney's responding in the chat, which is excellent and really helpful. I see some Pauley High School, John Muir. So I will copy that resource on the chat for you all. So let me go up to, I'm not sure if one of my folks, my friends in the booth can put that resource, the OCIPD contact list, in the chat. That might be helpful. Let me see if I can get that going for us. You're all going to make my job very easy this evening because there's not much of a chat to feature. I'm still going to hang on, and I'm going to wait for some questions to come in. Again, anything that might be for the good of the whole. Again, we did mention that OCIPD contact list. And again, we have our friends from OCIPD, our Office of Curriculum, Instruction, and Professional Development joining us. So you're welcome to ask them specifically a question in the chat. So that would be Miss Courtney Hull. She does TK through 12 interventions. You can message her directly in the chat. You can message Wendy Englert. She's from our secondary math office. So those of you that have questions regarding secondary schools, that would be kindergarten, 6th grade through 8th grade, and high school math. She will be available to answer questions regarding math. And then Miss Alma Black is joining us from the multilingual office. she can tackle questions regarding English learner supports. Great question in the chat. Yes, our first one. Keep these coming. Are there resources for Spanish immersion schools? There are resources. I'll point you to two. We have an upcoming workshop that will be, and I wish I had the date with me and I don't, but actually Miss Alma Black, who's joining us this evening, last year gave a fantastic workshop to support our dual immersion families, and the flip side, to support families with English learners. And so that can be found on our website if you want some resources from those workshops. But I know also if you go on our webpage and you go directly to the curricular office, there are some supports given there as well. Okay. So somebody's asking, what's the difference between private schools and public schools? Well, public schools is what we represent. So we're a Long Beach Unified, we're the public school district. Private schools are schools that typically, some are faith-based and some are not. Typically, it costs money for families to attend those schools, whereas our public schools, you have a right to a free and public education. Okay, all right. Let's see here. I'm not seeing too many more questions in the chat, but I am going to look. Again, I'd love for you to pose some of them. So this is great. Good question. Thank you. Is there a math intervention available for students who may be struggling in elementary? There certainly is. I'm hoping maybe Miss Wendy can reply to that. But I can tell you, if you do feel that your child is struggling in any particular curricular area, the first place you should go, certainly you can use the supports that are given. But before you go and spend gobs of money on tutoring, in our video that we showed, there were some tutoring resources available, but I would certainly start by talking to your child's counselor at the school. It could be a struggle with math. They can get you those supports, but it could be some other struggles. Are they not interested? I can share a personal story of mine with my son. He needed glasses. And so that kind of came out a little bit in some of our conversations early on with some of his teachers. And so I think sometimes talking to your child's counselor at the school site can be a really great place to start. So I would certainly recommend doing that. Another great question. Are there resources or workshops to improve their writing skills? I think certainly that would be a TK through 12 intervention. I would, and I'm not sure what level writing we're at. I can tell you the more you write, the better certainly kids do. As a parent, I have 2 children on my own. I would try to carve out time just for them to write for the sake of writing and have them write about whatever they like. If you go on a trip to a museum, or you go to a park, or you take a short vacation, a journal's a really fun way. Call them, I would call them maybe the recorder or the historian for the trip. And that's a really fun way to get students to just write. Tell them, I'm not, writing grammar, spelling. We're not worried about that. Take a journal, you be the historian, or have them draw a picture, have them explain to you what happened. So all of those, especially if your child's in elementary school, are really wonderful ways that you can really expand their writing knowledge. But again, have them do something that they're interested in. If they're interested in it and they're not worried about grading and it's something that they're doing for you as a family, that might be a really great way to get that involved as well. Okay, so let's look here. So it looks like we need some reading support. So there's reading support in 8th grade, reading support with 6th grade. So again, there are a lot of no-cost resources out there. Some are sponsored by our district, some you can find. Again, I would certainly start with your counselor, especially those of you in middle school. Start there, or their reading teacher. Also, language arts teacher would be more appropriate. I would start with talking to them and just to see What resources can be available? How can I support my child? One thing that we are nearing, because it's the fall and I believe November, it's kind of right around the corner. We do have some parent-teacher conferences coming up. So we actually gave a really fun in-person workshop on preparing for parent conferences. You can find that slide deck on our website. There's some really great resources where I think sitting down with your child's teacher, talking about their strengths, not just academically, but here are my child's strengths that I see. For example, he or she shows a lot of leadership skills. They love to cook. They're really great with pets. They love to sing. Things that may not always show up academically in grades is wonderful to share that with the teacher and then allow the teacher really to share with you what they see as strengths. And then I think perhaps you could both agree on some areas of growth. And I think the parent-teacher conferences, for those of you in elementary, wonderful time to take a look at that. The teacher should hopefully be going over some benchmarking with you. Could be some iReady scores, could be some projects or grades or work that they're seeing your child do. But that's a great place to start. For those of you parents that are in middle and high school, one thing that you can do is you can request a conference really at any time. Again, by contacting your counselor and just saying, hey, can we get, a conference going? Or if it's with a particular teacher, hopefully the lines of communication are open via email. And you could email the teacher and say, hey, I'd love to sit down with you and just kind of figure out how to support my kiddo. They're struggling, and again, that would be great for just maybe specific or content specific assistance as needed. So let me go through here. Let's take a look here to see our chat. Can middle school students get access to iReady? The side said this happens in their ELA class. Okay. I believe they can. There is, I believe if you go to the website and you click on iReady, you'll get to that information. Certainly going back through our slide. And again, not being the content expert, I don't have the ready answers for you, but I know that there are resources there for you. I again encourage you to talk to the counselor. They have the schedule and they have all the support resources available for you. Okay. Are there resources for parents with limited education? Yes, of course there is. So if you're asking about supports for you as a parent, our adult school is a wonderful place to get some information. I would encourage you to talk to your parent facilitator at your school site. So all of our middle schools have a parent facilitator or a parent liaison, I believe they're called at elementary schools. And those folks can help you get the resources that you need. They can put you in contact with some nonprofit organizations or some of our business partners to get you, depending on what supports you need, whether it's for you personally to build your capacity or to help your child with some of the things that they may be struggling. So that would be a really great way to get involved with that. So yes, we're having a question in Spanish on the Spanish chat. That would be great. Yes, please. Oh, I love it. So in our Spanish chat, someone is asking if there's support for students with pronunciation in second grade. I'm quite sure that there is. I would tell the parent who's listening, please contact the counselor at your child's school for information or the parent facilitator on that. I'm not sure if that's a dual immersion question where they're asking for better Spanish pronunciation or if they're asking the opposite where the child speaks Spanish and they want to some practice in English. So I would certainly take a look at that. Okay. We were told, thank you, Jennifer, in the chat. We were told by our school site that their tutoring funds were reduced. Who can I contact to confirm this? My child needs additional support. There was a slide on tutoring, and I believe, again, the slide deck will be posted. There should be a link on where to go on our website to get that information. But I do know that tutoring is available, And again, if that's missed, we should be able to get that support. I don't have it on the ready, but I know that we do have some of that. I'm not sure what grade level that is. Many of our high schools do provide tutoring before and after school at reduced, or in some cases for free. So if that's something that is of interest to you, you could certainly talk to that. I think a lot of the questions in the chat really can go through your child's counselor for sure. So if that is certainly the case, your counselor can really put you in touch with a lot of those supplies and resources that are needed. Okay. I know the chat is slowing down a little bit. I want to keep it open and certainly let you folks put your information in the chat. If you did not get the chance, I think if you scroll back up to the chat, it's highlighted in yellow. And that is the resource that is in contact. It's the OCIPD contact list. And so it will get you to the website for OCIPD, but it will also put you in touch with each of our content area folks, and it'll get you to their website. You can then get their name. You can send them an email where they can answer your questions specifically, because it looks like, the chat is slowing down, but I think a lot of folks have specific questions on how to help their folks and their children, which is great. Okay. All right. So I know we still have a few of you watching. What I'd love for you to do, it seems that the chat is slowing down, which is fantastic. We're going to post this webinar to our website. It should be up by tomorrow, if not by Thursday, so that you'll go back through and you can take a look at all the information that is available to you. So we would love some feedback from you. There's also a link for some Parent University feedback that goes directly to our office, so we can be notified on really how we can do a better job. All these webinars were created with you folks in mind, and we want to serve you as best we can. So I'm going to check the chat one more time, which I don't see anything. I'm not sure if there's anything else in our chat that's online, but again, I know that we're putting you in contact with the folks that you need. I want to thank all of you for joining us this evening. I know there's lots of things you can be doing. Maybe you're doing two at the same time. There might be an important baseball game going on right now, but I'm sure that could be something that you're tuning into. Please don't forget to join us. Check out our Parent University webpage for future webinars, future workshops, and for this one, which will be posted in all 3 languages to our Parent University page. So thank you all so much for joining. We will post this on our page. Have a wonderful evening. Take care, be safe, and we'll see you next time. Good night, everybody. Thank you.